Okay, looks like we're pretty much all set. Let's get into position here. All right, let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. And I'm ready to go to work. It's pretty damp in the studio, and I did walk like for 20 minutes to get here, so I'm a little bit sweaty. I don't want to catch cold. So, and plus I'm kind of anxious to get to work. And so let's do what we always do. Let's start off our Monday by going over to the computer. We're going to check out a 15 or 18 second video, a recap of what we did on Friday, just to refresh our memories and to, well, kind of start off the day the way it should. So let me come over here. And what did we basically do? Well, we put the yellow in the second coat of yellow in our centerpiece. I did have to cut that cap to get to the last drop of paint, which is kind of annoying. And then we did the outlining, and we basically did the outline all the way around our painting because we had to wait for the paint to dry. So I put a second coat of yellow right here. That's why we couldn't finish that. This had to dry as well. And that's what we're going to start off with today. We're going to do the black outline to this area here, finish off this guy, and then probably we will put our first, maybe a little shading on our purple to give it some depth and maybe a little bit of before we start working on this tomorrow, or yeah, tomorrow probably. And hopefully we'll finish this painting in a couple of days. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do on our purple frame here, but I'll worry about that when the time comes. So let me get this black paint ready here. Okay. Get the black paint ready, and I'm probably going to play some music while I'm painting so I don't have to worry about talking or explaining anything, and I can just concentrate on what I'm doing, because I have to keep a pretty steady hand. And honestly, I don't want to blow anything. So first thing I'm going to do, though, is get the paint ready. I'm going to add some water to it, because even though I want this paint to be nice and opaque, I do want it to be to flow on the canvas very easily as well. So to have total control over this paint, I am just going to have to add a little bit of water to it, and then hopefully everything should go smoothly. I mean, to enjoy your painting, you basically need three things: the paint to be the right consistency, to have the right size paintbrush, and to be in a comfortable position to paint. So if you can get all three of those things together, usually painting is a lot of fun and a real pleasure. So that said, I have a fat paintbrush already here full of water, and I'm going to use that to blend in the paint with some water and make it thinner. Not too thin, because I do want it to be nice and opaque, of course. And if I was blending several colors, I would probably go to camera number 1 over there, and we would do this together. But to just mix black paint with water on a black background, not too exciting. Probably can't see anything anyways, except the reflection of the light from the window, which will make the paint nice and shiny, as it does on my canvas when I'm painting, but there's nothing I can do about that. No way I'm going to close the shutters. So let's just work this out. And I'm not going to do this like methodically by doing the inside and then around it. No, I have to work in a way where I don't put my hand in the paint. So I'm going to start on the upper left-hand side and kind of work my way down this way. And hopefully I will not create any screw-ups. like I did on Friday, now that I'm thinking about it. Several times Friday, I did put my hand in the black paint as I'm twirling my way all the way around. But it was no big deal. If you catch it right away and the acrylic paint hasn't dried, well, just grab a rag, a little bit of clean water, and it just wipes right off. But it's still a pain in the neck because sometimes I don't see it till a little bit later. And if I can avoid making mistakes, well, I'd rather avoid making mistakes, obviously, like everybody else. So what is this paint? Is this thick, too thick, thin, just right? Looks pretty good. I think maybe I'll just add a little drop more of water. I mean, the ideal is to have this like ink, but also, like I said already twice, I think, I want it to be nice and opaque as well. I mean, there's no way I'm going to put 2 coats of this black paint, right? So I don't want to see through it when I put it on. But now I can see this paint is like just right, beautiful, very good. And I did set aside the brush that I'm going to be using right here. So that's pretty cool too. I put that to soak, so now I'll just get rid of the excess water. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move camera number 1 over a little closer here. And I'm going to be starting to move it off to the side so I'm not in front of it, right? And I'm going to be starting right in this area here. So let me see, maybe if I put it like this and zoom in, I won't be in the way. How's that look? Something like that. So I'm going to start. What am I going to do? I'm going to start with this leave here, finish this, then this, then, yeah, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then I'll do the guy afterwards. No problem. Okay, so I have that done. Let's load up the paintbrush. Okay, let's get to work. I'm all set. Hopefully the gods will be with me. Make sure I have a nice steady hand. All right. Okay, pretty good. Now I did say I was going to play some music, so I'm going to do that right now. Next thing I'm going to do is just jump on this area right here and then, well, whatever, you'll see. So let's play a little bit of music in the background. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth. Ah, fuck. There we go. I do cuss a lot. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, God. But anyways. Okay, just gonna step back for a second. Very good, so far, so good. Okay, so I'm going to move back up here. I guess I was off camera anyways, damn it. Sorry about that. I guess I can finish that plant up there. There we go. Then I can come back here now. When all this is dry, I am going to add, of course, some more details to the center yellow part as well to make it richer as well. Add a little ochre. I have a lot of texture I have to paint over, so it's not obvious. Okay, little by little, we're getting there. Oops, a little hair on my brush. There we go. Of course, we'll come back and fix everything that needs to be fixed. And nothing is set in stone right now, so. All right, so. Right. All right, let me get this here before. because I do want this to be a little bit thicker here, so. There we go. All right, so what do we have here? Let's stand back for a second, take a look. Already put my hands in the wet paint. Okay, not too bad. All I need to do is just grab this last little leaf right in here and the detail of there. Okay, we'll do this like this. Okay, getting there, we're getting there. I don't know, where am I on my cameras here? I am on camera number 2 with a little pop-up window. I should have known it was going to happen. A little pop-up window likes coming up when it wants to. Go here. Okay, very good. Like I said before, I'm going to be adding more details in here. I want to add some more yellows in these streaks, some yellow ochre, and then I'll come back with the black and do a few more details in there as well. But I'm going to have to do that probably tomorrow once it's dry. What happened here? I screw up. There we go. And I'll probably have to do that tomorrow. Just fix one or two more things here. There we go. And I will do that tomorrow. So that takes care of this guy. So let me stop the music for a few seconds. That takes care of our centerpiece. I'll just check the leaves, make sure I didn't forget anything. I don't think so. Okay, so that is done. Now let's go back to I'll move the camera over. Let's tackle this guy here. And I'll move the camera way to the side. I really don't like being in front of the lens when I'm painting. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Let me just add a drop of water and make sure all the paint is not. There we go. I'm going to need a different paintbrush for this though, something a little bit wider. What is this here? I have something caked up in my paint. Looks like trouble. There we go. Got that out of the way. And am I going to have enough black here for my thing? I don't know. I'm going to just make a little more black paint just to make sure that I can dip my paint brush and not have to worry too much about anything else. There we go. Put all this in the middle of my palette. Get rid of this little piece of crap there that, if I forget about it, would cause me problems. So let me clean off my knife like usual. And then find the right paintbrush, which shouldn't be a problem. So, I'm going to put this guy to soak right away. It's one of my oldest and favorite paintbrushes. And then again, this one looks like it could be good for the job as well. I'll put those two to soak because they are stiff-haired brushes. So, but I usually have pretty good control over them. If I use a softer brush, in this particular case, I can very easily lose control. Either the lines will be too thick or I'll have to go over them 2-3 times. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm just going to use that. And let me add again a drop of water to this freshly added black paint. And I'm going to just churn all this just to make sure that there, this looks like it's pretty good. I think I'm going to grab my chair also to do this part, because I really always am nervous when I'm doing this, even though I've done thousands of these little guys. And there's that little pop-up window again. Well, let's get rid of it. Yeah, and even though I've done these faces and these heads like a billion times, I'm always extremely nervous because I do it à main levée, as they say in French. I don't rest my arm on anything. I really just kind of wing it like that. So if I'm hung over and a little bit shaky, it can turn into a nightmare very quickly or whatever. So I'm always very nervous, and I'm always hoping that things will go well. So, did I pick the right paintbrush? That's going to be the next main question. I usually use this paintbrush to do some of my flowers and jungle plants, but for some reason I had a feeling this would work okay today. I don't know. Let's find out. So I'll bring this over here. I'm going to just step back for a second. Okay, so let's go for it. What the heck? So I'll come over to camera number 1 right here. Well, you know what? I'm a little low with this chair. So what I'm going to do is I have a bar stool right here. And I'm going to bring that bar stool there. And use this. Should bring me to the right height for what I want to do. And let's see where we're at now. I'll zoom back to camera number 1. And let's keep our fingers crossed. At least I'm at the right height, that's for sure. Perfect. So I have no excuses. Well, that went well. Let's go back up here. Okay. Pretty good so far. Guess I'm pretty lucky today. All right. Step back for a second. Okay, so let me just come over here for one split second. Okay. All righty, very good, very good. So, I guess I can put the excess black paint in a jar. Go on, guys, go back home. And move this over to the side. So that's pretty good. I'm happy about all that. Let me just check things out from here. Okay. Maybe just one little fix right here. You know, the kind of thing that nobody will ever notice except myself. There we go. I am being finicky here. I can't help it. There we go. Nope, not quite. There we go. Okay. Much better. And maybe right in here. There we go. Okay, much better. Now those little details that make me happy. So what was I? Oh yes, I have to top this off. And then I was going to make, I said, before I'd go home and call it a day, a little bit of shading on our purple frame. Get that out of the way so we can move forward with that tomorrow. And I'm just going to be the shading is going to be very discreet. I know on the camera, when there's a lot of contrast, it looks great. But in reality, you don't want there to be too much contrast. You have to remember that the people who buy these paintings, they see them live, not on a camera or on a TV. So if you're going to do some shading, it has to be kind of discreet. And it's not that obvious to do because the paint has a tendency to darken as it dries. So you always have to kind of keep that in mind. So hopefully I'm going to go ahead and find the right kind of shading that we will need and find the right kind of hue so it's not too obvious. And I don't always get it right the first time either, so that's why I'm going to have to be careful. So let's get a little bit of this purple on my palette right here. I really don't need much because this is basically I want my paintbrush to be dry when I do this. I'm not going to paint it on, I'm going to dab it on. And as you know, a little dab will do ya. So, knife is clean, put this baby away. Now, finding the right paintbrush, I'm going to go with this guy here, but I am going to have to add some white because my purple is going to be way too dark. And this is going to be the tricky part, kind of finding the right combination. So I'm going to put the white paint on the side Again, I put too much here, but it doesn't matter. And then we're going to blend this in. And I guess I'll go to do this on camera number 1. We can do this together. Let me just clean off my knife. Let me put away my bar stool over here, which we will need in a few seconds as I switch cameras to do this. There we go. I'll just put my jar of water right there on my bar stool. And we'll be using this to blend our purple and white. So I'm just going to get the white here first. And then I'm going to bring in the purple little by little. That we can hopefully find the right. You know, I want it a little bit darker than what we have on our background, so I'm going to try it in a few seconds. First, I want to make sure that I have enough done so I don't have to keep coming back to make more. Now, how's this look? Is this going to be good or not? And I need this to be all kind of blended in. That looks awfully dark. Like I said, I have to remember that it's going to darken as it dries. So, is this going to be all right? Is this going to be a little bit darker? Should we try this? Let's just find a little spot right here, maybe. Right on the edge of our... Like right in here, maybe. Well, it's a little bit lighter. It's not darker. It's a little bit lighter. Which means when it dries, will it come... I don't know. Let's go with this. I'd rather have it a little bit lighter than a little bit darker. So let's just go for it. We'll see what happens. I know it's going to darken as it dries. And it might just blend in with the background and you might not even see it. Which is probably what's going to happen. But then again, that I find it to be totally matching the background, I doubt. So this could be just that little different shading, very slightly, that I was looking for. It does have to be very discreet. This is just like, has to be like a little shadow. That's what's going to give it depth and richness. Let me zoom in like that. I'll have some material to play with when I edit my movie here. I do have to blend all this in because it is a little bit, as I go along, it's going to be a little bit different. Looks like it's going to be a lot lighter than what I was hoping for, but we'll see. Only the finished product will tell us tomorrow. When we finish tomorrow, we'll really know if we did okay or not. Just going to grab my chair here. Might as well be comfortable. This looks like it's going to be quite a bit lighter here, so maybe I'll add a little more purple to this. And go over it like that. So tricky to do this shading type thing. With some colors, it just works out very easily, and others not quite, so that's why I'm always a little bit nervous. So let's move this over here. I might have to go over and do this again tomorrow if this doesn't work out. I mean, if it dries so much and it just blends into the point where you can't even see it, well, that's not really what I want, so. But then again, we might be lucky, so we'll see tomorrow what all this gives. Like I say, it changes so much when it dries that you can't really judge. We just have to keep our fingers crossed. So, what's all this look like? Pull the chair back. It's a little hard to tell, but it looks like their shading might work out just right, just the right amount. I mean, it is the background after all, so it's got to be relatively discreet. Here it looks like it's going to be a little light. Maybe I should try to correct that right now. Then again, maybe I won't. Maybe I just have to be patient and see what all this looks like tomorrow. So, did we forget anything? I see just one little thing that I could fix right now that I skipped and that I'm going to take care of right now. Little detail of one of the leaves right up in here. There we go, just like that. So, what do we have? There's our painting from camera number 2 and seen by camera number 1. Not quite finished, that centerpiece, but we'll deal with that tomorrow. And there you have it. So that concludes today's 1 hour stream, right on the money, 59 seconds or 59 minutes and 50 seconds. So anyways, so I want to thank you for joining me today. It helps so much to have people with me as I am experimenting with all these new colors that I've never used before. But whatever. we'll see what the final product will give us. Tomorrow we'll try to finish the inside of the painting and then maybe start the details of the frame, the purple frame. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but we'll figure all that tomorrow. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm going to leave you, like always, with two things. I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.